Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and guests, my name is Srdjan Kovacevic. I'm coming from University of Novi Sad, Faculty of Technical Science, from the Department of Environmental Engineering and Occupational Health and Safety at Work. As I said, I will represent my professor Mirjana Vujinić-Milorado paperwork on the theme Chemical Reactions in Aquatic Phase of Heterogeneous Landfill System. In this paperwork, we will pass through introduction, stoichiometric chemical equations of various processes in the aqueous layer of the landfill body, chemistry in the aqueous media within the landfill body, and chemical species, cations, anions, as well as molecular forms in aqueous state. And after that, we will conclude our presentation. First of all, there are some interesting data about landfills in Serbia. Our Department of Environmental Engineering and Occupational Safety at Work has done some studies and projects, and according to available data in the Republic of Serbia, it is located about 164 landfills that use municipalities for waste disposal, as we can see in the first figure. 25 or 15.2% of landfills is located at the distance of less than 50 meters from rivers, streams, lakes, or resources, and of course groundwaters. Of that number, 14 landfills is practically situated on the banks of that water courses. And so far, at the end, so far in the Republic of Serbia is located about 3,500 dumps, which don't have any sanitary measures. I didn't put that on the slide. Also in Serbia we have 10 sanitary or regional landfills. These facts are very considering, and we need to mitigate and control these pollution sources. Groundwater is quantitatively the most significant freshwater resource on the earth. As you can see on the picture, there is a distribution of the groundwater resources all over the world. Secondly, municipal leaches, and I will not forget to mention, Professor Dinkic said last day that 50% of groundwater resources which are extracting from groundwater are using for freshwater supplies in the all over the world, and 60% in Europe and 70% in our country. After that, municipal landfill leaches may represent a significant source of concern for legacy contaminants and new and emerging chemicals in groundwater. Landfills have historically remained the most common methods for waste and organized waste disposal. They may contain many compounds which are disposing and decomposing in several years, few decades, and much more. They can release organic and inorganic compounds, emergent chemicals that may have environmental, wildlife, and human health consequences. Products from chemical reactions from unsanitary landfills can contaminate the aquifer. Different chemical species remain exposed for a long time to various physical, chemical, and biochemical processes: oxidation, reduction, neutralization, hydrolysis, enzymatic reaction, sorption, desorption, diffusion, dispersion, and others. But the emphasized self-purification potential of an aquifer through a complex process leads to the changing of the water quality in the aquifer, usually in the positive direction. On the next slide, we can see the list of chemical components in water samples using water leach test. On the left side, there are anorganic compounds. We can see there are a lot of heavy metals and toxic substances. And on the right side, there are organic compounds, as we can see, like it's listed in the table. Here now I will represent you the main reactions which took place in the landfill body leached. Main compounds and in chemical reactions are phosphorus, nitrate, nitrogen, dissolved organic nitrogen, ammonia, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. During the waste stabilization in the body of the landfill, we have biochemical reactions, as we can see here. Nitrate and substrate, you can see here. I will now explain the reactions. And it is important that in the typical reversible process, P is photosynthesis and R is respiration. After that, we have nitrification. We can see that. Also, it is important that in water, the total ammonia consists of two forms, ammonium aquatic and ionized ammonia NH3. Then nitrification, we can see also the reaction. Main products of these three reactions is water, which have some complex compounds which are toxic or non-environmental. In this presentation, it is most important that the presented chemical equations are in stoichiometric and charge net system. Left side and right side is the same. Chemical processes that occur in the aqueous phase include the following groups of dynamic equilibrium process: oxidation, reduction, ionization, molarization, hydrolysis, hydrolytic condensation, precipitation, dissolution, neutralization, hydrolysis, sorption, desorption, complexation, decomplexation, and others. Carbon dioxide saturation is in relation with the Henry's law, as we can see in the presentation, where Kh, the Henry is constant, and PCO2 is the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Sorry about the units. As we can see, the carbonate species in solution are in the dynamic equilibrium with the CO2 gas in the atmosphere above the solution. Very often the hypothetical species like hydrogen carbonate are used to represent CO2 aquatic plus hydrogen carbonate aquatic. And at the end, hydrophilic, we can conclude that hydrophilic chemical species, cation, anions, and polar molecules, as well hydrophobic chemical compounds, are found in aqueous state, A-, B-, and products AB and CD all aqueous and lithophilic. The main physical parameters that determine the type of chemical reactions are aerobic and anaerobic conditions, oxic or anoxic, especially in the case of the oxidation reduction process. Bulk chemical reactions could take place in the aqueous media within landfill body with different hydrolytic or hydrophilic and or hydrophobic products. At the end, chemical products which are generated in aqueous layer of the landfill body could contaminate the aquifer by diffusion, dispersion, sorption process, and other important processes. For the acknowledgements, this research has been supported by the Ministry of Science and Technological Development of the Republic of Serbia within the project number III46009 and 37014. I do my best to be short. This is my first representation on this big congress or conference, and I'm very honored to represent this in front of these people, these colleagues and professors. Sorry about my nerves. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much.